What's up, y'all? I'm Bianca. Some of you might already know me, but if you're new to this is my first video starting a YouTube channel where I'm talking about health and wellness from a different lens, from a different perspective. I feel like a lot of the times when I'm looking for YouTube fitness, here's a couple things that I'm running into. It is very weight loss focused or bodybuilding focused, competition focused, sport focused, but I'm looking more into lifestyle and how can I live a sustainable, healthy life with exercise and diet in mind. If I'm trying to lose weight, how can I do that well and sustainable? So I'm gonna give you tips in bits and pieces of training advice, nutrition advice, and just like perspective advice. You can take it or leave it. I'm not perfect. I'm learning as I'm going, but I am in this industry and I want to provide a different perspective. What is a different perspective, you may ask? I've noticed as a personal problem that when I'm trying to learn more, I'm not finding people that look like me. I'm not finding a lot of people of color that are sharing this type of advice. It is a very white space. Nothing wrong with that, but I just want to add a different perspective where the culture can be part of that as well. Because as I was going into my journey in the health and wellness, I realized that the foods that I loved and my cultural foods weren't part of a diet plan, and they weren't healthy. But as I am unpacking this a little bit more, I'm realizing obviously our natural cultural foods are healthy. We just have to make them balanced. We need to think about the breakdown of how and when to eat them, but we can totally live a culturally relevant life and be healthy and fit. So those are the things that I have to offer here. Obviously you'll get to know me a little bit more. I'm gonna try to film my daily life, some of my work. So I'm a personal trainer. I focus on women's health, pelvic floor health, pre and postnatal fitness, and I am dabbling into bodybuilding, but not in the competition side of things. I'm thinking more about how can we create a sustainable practice where we can build muscle, eat healthy, and achieve all of our goals without having to join a sport. I come from a background of competitive weightlifting. I crossfitted for a few years. I played rugby in high school, so I only knew fitness from the lens of sports. But I've always wanted to build muscle, and I realized that muscle is a side effect of playing sports, but that doesn't guarantee, like if I'm playing sports or training in a sport specific way, aka CrossFit, weightlifting, that doesn't mean that I'm actually going to build muscle. We are not training in that specific way to build muscle. So this is more about how can I work out, how can I train for that specific goal, which means that you have to shift your thinking a little bit and get into more hypertrophy work, which I'm gonna be talking to you about. And diet. Diet is so important for building muscle because you don't build muscle in the gym, you break it down and you rebuild it and you get the results you want with the diet, with your eating. When I say diet, I'm thinking more about like the food that's on your plate and not necessarily going on a diet. So at this very moment in my life, I am working on what we call body recomposition. I am recomping in the sense that I am trying to lose fat and gain more muscle. This is not an easy state to be in because progress is slow, because there are contradicting mechanisms in your body, which means that when I'm losing weight, if that's my sole focus, I might also be losing muscle, but I'm trying to maximize the weight loss and minimize my muscle loss. But that does, like, we have to choose one or the other, otherwise it takes longer. I'm choosing the harder route. Or building muscle, but sometimes in order to build muscle you might also gain a little bit of fat, and then you go on what it's a cut to cut down the fat and then show your muscle. But in my state of being, I'm taking things slow because I think that's what's sustainable for me mentally. It's the only way I can do things. If I rush into things like a diet, for example, if I cut all my calories out, I'm going to be starving, I'm not going to have energy, people are going to hate me at work, and I'm going to go through what we call a diet burnout or completely fall out eat all my feelings away, and then feel terribly about it, and then the cycle begins. And I've done that in the past. I used to binge eat. I used to not eat as a punishment. I used to train more as punishment, and I am done with those behaviors. I want to be sustainably be healthy. I want to feel good in my body. I want to have good training sessions for myself and be strong as hell, have hella muscle, and be leaner. So I'm doing it the slow route, but it's working, and I'm so excited to show you my workouts and my progress as a testament that it can be done, but also have an open discussion of how I'm feeling about the foods I'm eating. I am not eating chicken and rice and broccoli every day. Matter of fact, I barely eat broccoli because I'm so burnt out from it, but I want to make sure that this is a space where you can learn more than just competitive sports and eating and dieting. I want it to be more culturally relevant. I want to be at a space where you can interact, ask questions. I would love to know what your questions are about health and fitness so I can discuss them with you. But I'm really excited for you to join me on this journey. I'm excited. I'm new to YouTube, so I'm excited for myself to create a new platform to educate, and that's honestly the biggest piece for me. I like to educate people. I used to be a teacher, and I feel like those skills of teaching have stuck with me, but now I'm in a different setting where I am teaching health and fitness and wellness. So speaking of, I just finished lunch. Every day after I eat lunch, I go on at least a 10-minute walk, but today I have a little bit more time, so I'm going to go on a 20-minute walk. And this is because it helps regulate your blood sugar. Blood sugar is your energy, essentially, and if I eat and then just sit, I'm going to crash because my blood sugar is going to spike and then it's going to drop. But if I instead go on a 10-minute walk after every meal, I am letting my muscle absorb that glucose, that blood sugar, which means that it's going into my muscles instead into my bloodstream and crashing and feeling hella tired. That 2 p.m. crash is because you didn't go on your walk after you ate lunch. So make sure that you go on at least 10 minutes. And then also, if it's outside, bonus, it's so nice out there, sun, spring. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you're as light-skinned as I am. I need some sun in my life. Anyway, again, I'm really excited. This is video number 1. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to continue building. So later today, I'm going to film how I get ready for the gym. Today I have legs, and I do mostly what we call a bodybuilding split. So I separate body parts, and that's just because I want to really see the most muscle growth out of every specific muscle group. You do not have to train that way. You can train however it works for you, but the principles for building muscle are the same regardless of your training split. So I will be talking to you about that in a later video. My leg day video and getting ready for my workout and all of that will be a separate video. I just wanted to do an intro here. And awesome, new and exciting things coming. Stay posted. My business brand is called Holistic Strength, which embodies everything that I'm doing and believing on finding balance in health and strength training. Everything's connected. Strength training is as research comes out, is showing that it's critical and important. We need to build muscle not just for vanity purposes, but for muscle is that tissue that makes you healthy. It helps with literally everything. If you have a problem and health problem, I'm pretty sure building muscle is going to help. But right now, the research is saying that muscle is one of the most important organs, endocrine organs, but they also help you with blood sugar regulation. We are in an epidemic of diabetes and overweight people. And building muscle is what's going to help you manage that. So even if you're not trying to be too muscular or too bulky, you still need to lift weights because not having enough muscle can lead to diabetes and other diseases. But also, very interesting, if you don't have enough muscle, you can also develop Alzheimer's. And this is a midlife disease, which Alzheimer's is now called the type 3 diabetes, which means that it's diabetes in your brain. So if you don't have enough muscle to regulate blood sugar and to help you manage those systems, scary future. So I need to make sure that everyone in this world, or at least watching this channel, is working on strength training, building muscle in a way that is sustainable, in a way that makes sense, that aligns with your goals, but your goals don't always have to be physique focused, diet focused, weight loss focused. Honestly, for me personally, I know that in my history I've been injured, and I want to make sure that I have muscle to avoid injury, to feel good, to have less pain. But also I have PCOS, which is another type of problems. But at the end of the day, PCOS, if you're familiar with PCOS, there's a huge problem, which is insulin resistance and blood sugar regulation. So the past year I have really focused on muscle building because I want to regulate my insulin a little, like my blood sugar a little bit better. I need to become less insulin resistant so my body can absorb that glucose, that sugar a lot better, so I have less crashes, more energy, better sleep, better hormone balancing. And at some point when I decide that I want to be a parent, I don't want to have an issue getting pregnant. And all of that starts with building muscle. So I'm planning ahead, and I'm sharing all the information with you guys to make sure that you have all the information you need to make the decision that's best for your body. I'm not saying that you should stop doing the things you like. You should go on those runs, you should take that yoga class, you should take that Pilates class, but none of these things replace strength training. So make sure that you're learning correct, proper form, and that you're strength training 2 to 3 times a week, everything else supplementary. I'm going to be talking about sports training versus strength training because they are not the same. Again, we want muscle building to be one of the primary focuses, not a side effect of the activity that you're doing. For example, I used to weightlift, and I used to think that because I'm weightlifting, I'm going to get jacked and get muscles. But no, weightlifting, Olympic weightlifting is a sport. The focus of Olympic weightlifting is strength. Again, you can build strength but not necessarily maximize your muscle gain. Different form of training. So it was strength to add load to 2 specific lifts, clean and jerk, and snatch and clean and jerk. So I did get muscles from Olympic weightlifting for almost 5 years, I believe. But that doesn't mean that I was focusing on building muscle. I wanted muscles, but that didn't come directly from weightlifting. You need to make sure that your goals align with the activities that you're doing. Building muscle needs to come from specific functional strength training, bodybuilding style, hypertrophy training. That is how we build muscle. So I want to make sure that you have that education piece so you can select and choose the activities that you're doing. We want to be working out. We want to be training. We want to have purpose. Working out is like I show up to a class, you do the class, whatever. That doesn't mean that aligns with your goals or it's very specific to your body. Everybody is so different. This is why I love being a personal trainer, because I love learning people's bodies and making workouts that are very specific to what that person needs, because we're all so different. We have injury history, we have body mechanics that are very different that we all need to work on, but they're very different. Again, like for example, me, I have a history of knee injuries, so I have to make sure that my workouts keep me healthy in my knees, keep me healthy in my lower back, all of those things. Like my injury history really dictates the type of training and exercises that I choose, but also my goals of building strength. Again, now at this point I don't want to feel like I'm rambling, but I have so much information to share with you. I'm very excited for you to join me on this journey as I educate, as I share advice, but also as I just go on this personal journey of body recomposition. I will be sharing some progress pictures so you can see how I'm doing, what I'm doing. But anyway, please make sure that you follow, subscribe, and I will try to be more active on these platforms because I want to interact a little bit more, but I want to share this very helpful information from that umbrella of person of color, because again, very sadly, I don't think that we are represented in these spaces as much as I wish or as much as I wanted to be. And so I want to make sure that that changes and that the information applies to our culture as well. It's not just but not very whitewashed. It needs to be diverse. We need to understand that our foods, cultural foods, have nutrition, and we need to feel that we can incorporate them into these journeys versus having to get on a diet to be healthy and remove all the things that we like. Similar with exercise, I want you to help you find that balance that allows you to find a sustainable diet and training regimen that helps your health and your other goals that could be weight loss, physique, whatever. But at the end of things, we want to make sure that we're always living a healthiest life possible. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you soon.